Hi and good morning. Welcome. Well, we are stepping into June 2019, the start of a new month. What do you have planned? I have to say I enjoyed hosting last month's month-end planning and reflection session on the 31st. That is a monthly program that I do for professionals of all kinds. And today I'm back talking once again about Coaching Business Builder and PlanDoTrack. This call is a part of the virtual book club call. It's open to anyone to attend or listen to. I do upload these. And this month we're stepping into, I think, the start of summer for so many professionals all over the world, which might mean that you have a little bit more time on your hands to actually work on those creative projects. So today's call is probably geared more for virtual professionals and or coaches. I'm going to be dipping into content from Coaching Business Builder, which of course also tracks with PlanDoTrack. If you are a virtual leader, I have a virtual leadership call coming up as part of this virtual book club series later this month. So stay tuned. Today's topic, of course, is signature programs. And who's not interested with signature programs? This has been a buzzword for many, many years. And whether or not we call it a signature program, our platform, or our body of work, today's call is really getting you to think about getting started with whatever you want your fingerprints and handprints to look like. As an author, and as an author who is celebrating 10 years of my body of work, one of my first bodies of work professionally under the Potentials Realized umbrella of group coaching essentials and effective group coaching, it's exciting to actually get to talk about today's topic, because I think our signature programs, our bodies of work, they become really our focus. It's things that we live and breathe and sleep and eat. And I have to say that in the last 15 years of my career, which is totally different from the first 15 years of my career, it's been amazing to really be focusing intentionally on building 3 separate bodies of work, right? I've always described Potentials Realized as a 3-legged stool. I serve coaches, especially those that are growing their business and or group or team coaching. And that's been a big focus of books like Coaching Business Builder, as well as Effective Group Coaching and From One to Many. Spent a lot of time in the last 15 years working on that. I also have done a lot of work on leg 2 of the business, which of course is for virtual and remote professionals, teams, leaders. And that maps in, of course, to my work and writing around effective virtual conversations. Third leg of the business is also bringing me back to Coaching Business Builder and PlanDoTrack, and that, of course, is support to entrepreneurs and small business professionals. So today, let's talk about signature programs. Of course, this is part of the Coaching Business Builder and PlanDoTrack series. If you haven't visited the website's entry page is going to look the same. Really, the notion for this body of work, my signature program, is daily steps plus consistent action equals momentum. And it was really fun a few weeks ago actually, as I was doing some research for some upcoming writing, I came across Adam Markle's book called Pivot. And he writes about the momentum factor created by dominoes. It's exponentially much huger than a domino has in and of itself. And for years, I've talked about the 1% rule to business development. It really is about taking regular, consistent actions every day. In fact, 10 years ago now, introduced that concept in the 90-day Biz Success group coaching work. And I've seen how that became really the flywheel for so many professionals, really taking on its own shape and form. So if you have a copy of the planner, definitely take a look as we go through today's call at that 1% rule for business development. It is really key, and I'll have a future call. So as we step towards almost a year, I can't believe it, almost a year since I first held Coaching Business Builder in my hand, really excited to see where this work has gone. In fact, the next iteration is coming up, and I'll be creating a whole army of facilitators this summer. So more on that. But really, with Coaching Business Builder, the idea is what doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. Planning is so critical for our coaching business, as well as us in the remote space. So this is a series of many, many calls. Join me later this month. As I said, in 2 weeks, we'll have more of a PlanDoTrack call. PlanDoTrack, Coaching Business Builder, of course, are twin books. There are some distinctions. Coaching Business Builder really geared towards our ICF core coaching competencies, and it's all about building a professional coaching business. And we know that there are more than 50,000 certified coaches, let alone how many more in the world. Really, if you're a coach, Coaching Business Builder is for you. If you're a virtual professional of any stripe, PlanDoTrack will probably be a better fit. In that version, I go into more around remote working skills, leading a virtual team, etc. Regardless, here's the upcoming summer book calls. Really excited to be leading these with you in the next few months. And of course, they map into the Instagram at Coaching Biz Builder. But let's talk now about signature programs. Why should we even care? Well, as you heard me mention, bodies of work become what we're known for. It really helps us stand out in a crowded marketplace, and really being able to talk about it, write about it, speak about it, work around it, really shapes where we go and what we can say yes to, and also what we might say no to. So some of the benefits of having a signature program, whether it's live, whether it's training or coaching or on demand, there are many, many benefits. Number one, it gives you a variety of ways and price points for clients to enroll in your services. If I look at a whole body of work like Group Coaching Essentials, it's been a 5-week virtual class for the last 13, 14 years. I also have offered it as a couple of other formats, a 2 or 3 day weekend program rolled into work with internal coaches, and those have different price points. I think and of course the book. So, people want to get to know us in different ways. And as business owners, I think we also want to make sure that we're generating revenue. I know that someone who picks up my book will get to know my writing. They'll either like it or not, and that's okay, because part of our body of work helps us recognize that we may not be able to be of service to everyone who comes to us. Yet we will be able to hopefully refer them on to someone who can. Signature programs or our body of work also helps us expand our reach. So as I've written here, offering a variety of engagement touch points can allow you to expand your reach and geographic impact. So part of the allure of submitting a proposal for effective group coaching, which will be celebrating its 10th year in print this year, was my own wish, want, vision to have my word, my teaching, my work go much wider than I could do in a one-on-one format. And it's really exciting to see 10 years later how many thousands of copies of my book have gone out into the world. It's been embraced by so many coach training schools as either the course book or a recommended resource. And I meet coaches all the time from every continent pretty much who have read my work, and as they've heard me speak, say, that is so much like you. So really think about how your signature program and what you're focusing on will allow you to expand your reach. It helps us scale, right? As coaches, most of us were originally trained in a one-on-one hourly revenue model. I realized early on in my business that as a new mom, and my son is now 14, but as I was starting out in my business, like a one-on-one was just not going to work in terms of bringing in the income needed for our family. My husband could not work for the first 5 years of my business because he was a new visitor and in the immigration process for Canada. So scaling was really key. How could I maximize my revenue? And actually, in doing the work, it helped further shape what exact imprint I wanted to make in the realm of coaching. Signature programs also help us keep it fresh. So, hopefully that you are working around similar issues. So for me, really my sweet spot is group and team coaching, coaching many. What does it look like? What does it sound like? What are the tools? What does it look like in person versus virtual? That's the arena that I work within. I don't necessarily go do career coaching or go do financial coaching, right? That is for someone else. So signature programs keep it fresh, but they're also wide enough to help us do work in a variety of touch points. And this is where I love having, multiple signature programs, because Yes, I do work in coaching many, but that maps really nicely to my work in teamwork, right? The principles are very much the same. So much of my work has been in a virtual space. And certainly, if you think about my realm, you might hear of Jennifer Britton, yes, group coaching woman, but also, tend to focus more on virtual programs and corporate programs. That is really the framing. So with signature programs today, in this call, we're going to look at three things. Number one, helping you decide on what your signature program topic could be. I do a lot of coaching around this, whether we're talking about it in the Coaching Biz Growth Lab or whether I'm doing one-on-one work. And yes, I do offer one-on-one coaching, so maybe you're interested in that. We also want to make sure that we choose the right delivery method. So what is the right format for our folks? Is it one-on-one? Is it a group? Is it an ebook? Is it a worksheet? What is it? And that's going to map into what your clients want. So I hope you've grabbed a pen and a piece of paper. Follow along as we go today. I've got a variety of meta-level questions that I hope you are going to really look at so that you can think about, like this slide, your imprint. Number one, what type of programming do you want to offer? So as you think about your body of work, is it doing one-on-one? Is it doing groups? Is it doing coaching and learning? Like, I think we all have a variety of ideas of what we'd like to offer. Maybe you want to travel the world with your work, and that's going to also be another iteration. As you think about your niche, and again, like this is in service, we also use the term niche or niche. You want to be thinking about how your niche or niche, the people you serve, is really going to be embracing this work. That's going to help you shape what type of signature program you want to offer. And I think a big part of this is deciding how much time do you want to invest in design and maintenance. We don't often think about this. We often just think about going to sell a product or service, but we need to think about how much time will it take. In some respects, it's faster to get a live program out the door because you need to design and show up. If you are doing on-demand programming, there may be a whole learning curve and editing time required with video, but you do it once and it's done. So you'll want to think about, the amount of time to your design and your maintenance. And how will this fit into other things you offer? So a couple of examples, just to make signature programs real. Maybe you have a 6-module program for business owners that's delivered through video-based packets. It might be on Kajabi or it might be on Teachable. Doesn't matter where it is, but it's on demand and people can access that at different times. That's a little different than having a signature program for those same business owners, which might be in a book format or audio format. And likewise, it's different than a coaching one-on-one package where someone goes through a 3 or 6 month deep dive with you as a coach. That same deep dive might be condensed into a 2 or 3 day VIP program. So think about your bigger picture. Part of this is really honing into like, how does a signature program fit into other things you offer? What are the areas you want to become known for? What's the one area or niche you want to really take deeper? And what are your clients looking for? If you sit back and listen, you will hear clients saying things like, I wish I had more resources. I wish I could do X, Y, or Z. I wish that I would be able to. These are all cues. These are cues for us to really be listening for and leaning into. They are signals indicating what your clients want. And this is an overused question, but like, what are the things that keep them up at night? Right? That is an indice. Often we are not going to react and invest money or time in today's world until we have a significant pain. I need to grow my business. I need to learn how to expand my coaching conversations to more people because I've just had a proposal come in the door. So you do want to think about what your clients are looking for. What are the problems they want you to solve with them? or the opportunities you want to help them accelerate towards, right? Those are two different framings. So meta level, there's a lot of great questions, and I do hope that you'll pause this to work on these questions. These, in fact, are ones that we've been exploring at the Coaching Biz Growth Lab, and I thought that it was really important to be bringing this in because we do want to get better at doing our pre-needs assessment work so that we do pick a product that is of interest and value to our clients. Another question you might want to be asked is, what are the issues every client or a majority of client explores in my conversation? Some more to think through. What makes your approach and philosophy unique? So a big fun part of this, and why I chose to do this topic, is because in this month, I'm rolling out a new facilitator program. Now that Coaching Business Builder has been out in the world for almost a year, it's time for me to let my baby go. Part of my vision for 2019 was to have Coaching Business Builder in the hands of 20,000 coaches, using it, benefiting from it, etc. It's evolved out of 15 years of conversations with coaches and business owners. And that in part is why with PlanDoTrack, I wanted to get PlanDoTrack out into the marketplace about 6 months ago. So if you're not a coach, but you want to grow your business, where do you go? And that's where PlanDoTrack comes in, which is, of course, geared for virtual professionals, entrepreneurs, virtual leaders, and team members. So this summer, in July, I'm really pleased to announce that I'm going to be leading a virtual facilitator training program for coaches, trainers, others that want to have a resource that you can be offering to your own professionals. And so I'll be taking a group through a 6-session, 18-hour virtual facilitation training program where you can get facilitator training in either PlanDoTrack and or Coaching Business Builder. And that's, again, going back to many of these questions. What makes my approach and philosophy unique? Goes right back to my brand, right? Part of Potentials Realized is the water drop. I started this business to give professionals of all kinds more resources to do their work more effectively. That's why I've been an author for the last 10 years. That's why PlanDoTrack and Coaching Business Builder are written as they are to help you have better work and for those that want resources to do even more accelerated work. So think about programming as well. What type of programming do you want to offer? And I know after years of experimentation and looking at the data, the sweet spot I bring is really virtual and live. It is also about bringing people together in community. I see the impact of that. I love seeing the impact of that. And so with this facilitator training program for CBB and PDT, it's going to be a group process. There's going to be a little bit of one-on-one time with me as well. And that's going to allow you to be able to take this resource forward to work with coaches or other virtual professionals. So it could be that you're a leadership coach. It could be that you're a small business coach, but it gives you a toolbox of resources you can proudly offer up as a consolidated set. So you do want to think about how much time gets invested, right? And if we use PlanDoTrack and Coaching Business Builder as an example, it has been a body of work. It's been thousands of hours of coaching, of training, of speaking to have these resources come to a point and a time where it is really a go-to step-by-step guide or a go-to jump-by-jump into the resourcing. Ultimately, we want to have this fit together in a way. So for you to decide on your signature program, we're going to look at some questions here. Breaking it down further, we've just looked at the meta niche. We're now going to look at 3 legs. Number 1 being, what is your signature program topic? Take some time to think about what are the areas you want to become known for. And what's the one area or niche you want to take deeper? Again, what are your clients looking for? And what are the issues every client or a majority of clients explores in your conversation? Also, another cue to help you get much clearer on what your fingerprint is what makes your approach and philosophy unique. Think about these questions. If you're listening to the recording, put it on pause. When you're ready, come with us to question number 2. Question number 2 is, of course, the delivery method. And there are so many options we have in today's world. So what type of programming do you want to offer? Is it in-person, virtual, one-on-one, intensive, coaching only, or a blend of learning modalities? Also, how much time, as I said at the start, do you want to invest in the design and maintenance? And how does it fit into other things? These are going to be questions that will help you think through what is of importance. And finally, let's layer on area 3. Again, feel free to pause, go back to the last question, but what do your clients want? What types of support do they most value? If they like the connection and community real time, it might not be the best starting place to start in an on-demand format. So you get to decide this. What is most important to our clients in terms of the deep dive or intimacy versus a longer-term accountability in a virtual group? What's important to them in terms of location, where this is offered, or the duration, how long it's going to run, or the number of engagement touch points? We all learn in different ways, and I think engagement is a really critical factor. So think about the key issues they want to explore and what that right modality or modalities might be in terms of delivery. Finally, what is the progression for clients to go from one area to another? We can scale this work, right? And I would say, if I go back to Group Coaching Essentials, that program started in 2006. 4 years later, 3 years later was when I was writing Effective Group Coaching. Started that in 2008, 2009, and it was published at the end of that year. I've continued speaking and writing and training around group coaching for the last 10 years, and there's still more books that are going to come out of that whole body of work. Of course, 2013, I published From One to Many, Best Practices for Team and Group Coaching, and in 2014-15, I launched the Conversation Sparker Cards. Closely, that was followed by 40 ways to work with virtual visual cards. And so much of this has also fed into Effective Virtual Conversations, which is specific to the virtual realm, and of course, Effective Virtual VFE, Virtual Facilitation Essentials. So bodies of work continue to evolve, and you'll want to think about the progression. I've seen people join me for Effective Group Coaching and that whole body of work, then jump into Virtual Facilitation Essentials, or join me for, say, the Coaching Biz Growth Lab because they want to focus in on their business. So lots to think about, lots of possible vehicles from one-on-one coaching to VIP days. VIP days, of course, are days where we might be doing some deep dives with people, and I love VIP days. I continue to roll with these. Mine are either 1 or 2 days, and they allow us to do real-time work. It's almost as if we are side by side, and for those that want to come and join me in the summer in Muskoka, that's always an option. Intensive groups. Embedded work, really getting into like doing work with others, whether it's virtual or in person. Another vehicle to consider, of course, is group coaching. And group coaching has that ongoing touch point. So intensive groups may be a retreat, in person or virtual. It may be an intensive, like that's the accelerator, the amplifier, the intensive. That's a weekend or several day focus. And that's going to be a little bit different, perhaps more content heavy than, say, a retreat program where it's geared for getting away from it all, like you see here with the sun and the outdoors. Another vehicle to definitely look at, but again, think about what is impactful, is perhaps on-demand video-based courses. And that is one that I've dabbled in since 2014. I find it really interesting to see sort of uptake and impact rates on the video-based versus the in-person. And while it might be a much lower cost, is it the best solution for people? So, foundation for this work of Coaching Business Builder and PlanDoTrack is the notion of consistent action plus daily steps equals momentum. I've added in here focused attention because I think one thing that we don't speak enough about is the need for ongoing action in a focused way. Are you doing things multiple times? And for anyone who's done work with me around marketing, you know how I always share the notion of the 7 to 11 times rule. That's something we talked about in marketing, whether it's an adage or not. We do need to hear messages multiple times before it even starts to get into like our subconscious, even before we start paying attention. Think about when you're out driving and maybe listening to a radio. You probably hear an ad once. Maybe the second time you hear it, you catch a little bit more about it. And then the third or the fourth time, you might be saying, wow, I better check out that website. 7, 8, 9 times, 10 times, 11 times we might need until we actually go check out that website, make that phone call, pick up the phone, do whatever, send an email. But we've needed that reinforcement before we even start to decide that this is something that I need right now. So focused attention, focused action on a focused way helps us create that momentum we're really looking for. I do hope that you'll join me, whether it's looking at what your roadmap is going to be, whether it's building it together in a VIP day, or whether it's bringing people together like you in the Coaching Biz Growth Lab for some group coaching. In recent months, well, really the last year, I've also been offering, of course, the 4-hour PlanDoTrack virtual retreats. Those are a 4-hour deep dive where you get to take action real time on your business. These are all options. They all grow out of the same body of work. And of course, now, I hope you might take your impact further. We've got the facilitator programs coming up this July 9th, 10th, 23rd, 24th, 30th, 31st. 18 hours to give you training and resourcing around so that you can lead your own programming as it relates to PlanDoTrack, again, virtual and remote professionals, or Coaching Business Builder. And that will be of interest to you if you're supporting other coaches as a mentor coach, as a coach trainer, etc. I really want to have this work get further out into the world. I've seen how transformational it is in helping grow businesses, in people leading their teams, in terms of that focus and action. And we need that today. In this era of digital disruption, people are hungry for a conversation. That's what we bring as coaches. And they're also hungry for having more of a strategic plan to help them execute. And so that at the end of the day, they can feel like they've gotten some things done. Within the facilitator programs, you will be able to really leverage the best of these two resources. You'll need to, of course, like anything else, bring a copy of the resource for the different people that you're working with. But in the facilitator program, I'm really taking you behind the scenes, giving you a whole series of bodies of work. You can choose to be a PlanDoTrack facilitator, a Coaching Business Builder facilitator, or maybe you want to do both. So if you're interested, earmark the dates, July 8th, 9th, 23rd, 24th, and 30th, 31st. I'm really looking forward to leading this virtual training program. It's going to run from 9 a.m. to 12 noon each of those 6 days. You will also be leading us through a selection. So we'll get to see this work in action. And by the end of it, you'll be able to be a facilitator in this work. Do join me. In addition to the training, you're going to get access to even more content and information that has not been published. I've created a facilitator guide to give you more tools. There's additional worksheets, more exercises, and you can offer this in any way that you would like, whether it's through coaching, groups, speaking, working, webinars, retreats, VIP days. Really, the possibilities are endless. The only qualification is that you need to go through the training and you need to purchase a copy of the book for each and every person you're working with as using this resource. So with that, click on over to both websites. You'll find a facilitator page now live. You can really pick up the phone, email me if you're interested. I really hope that you will join me. I'm very excited about this. And I'll be offering it this July and possibly one more time in the fall. But get in on the ground floor. Like, I know how many people are saying this has been great for them. They wish that they could use this with their own people. Again, I want to bring the resource out to 20,000 coaches and leaders and team members this year for 2019 alone. So with that, my next call is here. Okay? I'll see you in a few weeks for our next call.